I was very sure I was going to get a helper. In terms of how much my parents were going to be involved, it took me a while to decide because I was always a bit worried about being a burden to them. Actually, they kind of planned the situation themselves. We were having a meal between my dad and my in-laws. And the good thing is they get along very well.
Sides of the in-laws?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they were super happy. They said, so one day my house, one day your place, one day your house, we take shifts.
Yeah.
They kind of really hinted at that. It was easy for me to like, okay, maybe that's a possible option. My father will come Mondays and Wednesdays. My mother-in-law will come Tuesdays and Thursdays. That is the arrangement I have right now. It's working very well. It's very hard to give a child your complete attention from morning to night, especially if you don't want to be just on your phone while the child is there. After a while, it gets even more draining, I guess. So I think the alternate days when they come, they are present. Yeah. They come over to my place. That also helps because then you don't have to worry about for me at least, and I projected it and assume that it will help them, that they don't feel that they have to run errands at home. Because when I'm at home and I'm with my child, I'm aware of all the other things I have to do. And so you're always multitasking. But I feel if they were here, they know, okay, today is Lahan's day, I'll stay with him. And I have a helper to help me prepare the food. I don't think they're too tired. I do check in. So that was like how I consciously planned it. Yeah, what about you guys? What's the arrangement like?
So I guess for me, village means a small community of people who are there to help you with your child. I have two kids. My son is Nikhil and my daughter is Ishania. When I had Nikhil, when my helper used to go on off, it was very easy for me to take care of Nikhil on my own because I guess the ratio is one adult to one child. But when Ishania came about, it was very challenging because my husband travels for work as well. So when she is on her off day and I am stuck with two children at home, and then that's when grandparents step in to help. My scenario is a bit different because my parents, although they would love to take care of the kids, I don't think their health allows them to. So I don't think they can keep up with a toddler in that sense. So if they were going to come over or if I bring them over, I have to be around. The arrangement has to be such or the helper has to be around. My in-laws are a bit different. They are willing to help out, but they also have their other grandkid to take care of. So their hands are
like what Dee was sharing just now, which was both sides of the in-laws are like one. Is yours the same also?
Yeah, grateful for that they actually get along pretty well. They also discuss child-related things, but are they as hands-on as this side? I don't think so because our work schedules, right? Like mine is own time, own target, and my husband travels for work, so we have to have a very solid routine at home. To bring in other people into that routine, then managing their time, because they're not retired, right? So that added to the mix is just very complicated. So I guess that's why we still prefer to have it just me, Vinod, and the helper who's coordinating most of the children's schedule. And then any other time that we cannot, then we go out and ask for help from the grandparents.
Your sister lives with you as well. So how does that help?
Yes. So my sister lives with me, but she works, right? So Monday to Friday she's not around. So only weekend. I feel very guilty asking her for help during her only 2 off days. But she has helped me out a lot during weekdays dinner. I have to go out and meet a client, then she comes and I'll be like, can you just stay and help them during their dinner and bedtime? Yeah, she's available. So having that extra pair of hands is very, very good. Very helpful for me, in that sense.
I think it's very interesting. I don't have, unfortunately, the privilege of having both sides of my husband's and my family come together. Also, because I think my relationship with my parents are not that great. A lot of times, quite honestly, I do rely or I do lean towards my husband's side of the family a bit more. The entire concept of like a village coming together was very, if you will, coming of age. I didn't plan for it because my own relationship with my own mother or my own parents was a bit distant. I think when I found out that I was going to become a mother myself, it was first to even navigate what that relationship with my own mother-in-law was going to be. When you talk about age, right? And I come from a family where my parents had me in their really early 20s, like as soon as they hit 20. So my parents now are still like maybe mid-50s, whereas on my husband's side, they're like 60s, 70s. So they're of my grandparents' age. The energy is very different. What they bring onto the table is completely different as well. I realize with grandparents that are slightly older, things need to be a bit more tailored for them. It was a progression. Even the topic of helpers, and how we came into it was a lot of understanding between my husband and I what those expectations are. Honestly, whether we could afford those expectations. But at the crux of it was that if you are going to be the primary caretaker, you have to be accountable.
What do you mean by accountable?
If let's say it's going to be my mother-in-law and the baby falls down at the playground, nobody wants to be that person where everyone's like, "Ayo, what happened?" Oh, how do you even let that happen? I think that's a lot of pressure.
So you do not want to have that tension with your mother-in-law?
Or my husband, I didn't want to have conversations with my husband when he or I come back from work to say, "Oh, why the milk bottle is all over the place? Why is he not dressed?" And to have day-to-day conversations reduced to that was the crux behind even thinking about having a helper. Not to say that we push the blame to a helper, it is not. Also, as a family, how do we continue to have our own identity, be able to spend quality family time together? We've all got work to do. We've all got errands at the back of our heads and all of that stuff. The strength of the village is what we're trying to build here. It alleviates so much pressure, doesn't it?
The role is a lot clearer when you have a helper.
Yeah.
So the accountability is you are in charge of food. It is very clear. I feel like with husband and wives, it's definitely a negotiation. Who does what and who does what when. Today I'm a bit tired, so you have to pick up a bit more slack.
Yeah.
But day to day, then you'll have the argument. If the grandparents are around, they actually just play with the kids. So then, as a parent, you're the one who's doing all the chores while the grandparent play with the kids. And you also don't have the time to play with the child. I didn't go with a helper. It was very weird for me to feel like I can have a helper at home. My dad didn't really like that idea as well. I want to ask you guys though, why didn't you consider infant care?
Money didn't make sense, right?
Yeah, infant care was very expensive. It's more expensive than having a helper. I felt that the helper is able to help me with so many other things, right? With my laundry, with cooking, with cleaning, so on and so forth. Just speaking about this, right? In my head, when I was pregnant, I already knew I wanted a helper. But that's mainly because I felt household chores can be delegated. I don't feel like I achieve anything by washing the clothes, That's a good thing to do.
True.
I feel like sometimes ladies are penalized for saying this, that they do not like household chores or not like doing them. But I just felt that it can be outsourced. It will free up so much of my time to actually spend that quality time I need with my kid. Right? To bring them out or to sit down and actually really play with them if I know that I don't need to do laundry at the back of my head. And I think Singapore, we are quite privileged that we actually have this chance to get a helper, right? So why not use it in our favor?
Exactly. So one of my expat friends told me this. Everything in Singapore is expensive. One of the few things that is affordable for us is getting a helper. And I was like, oh my god. He's like, why wouldn't you use it to your advantage? I was like, that is so true.
Villagekins!